Hey Rubina, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through. We'll put you back in your dress position and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's first of all take a look at your posture. We can see that your spine is nice and straight and on a slight tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms hang down nice and naturally in front of you, and the club works out to the ball, so achieving a really good posture here. In association with great balance. Looks really, really good. Taking a look at your alignment as well. Feet are running out in this direction here. If we carry that out towards the fairway, what we want to understand is that your club face theoretically is supposed to run parallel to your feet, and parallel lines on camera will have an appearance to converge. So the other great thing is you're set up right down the center of the fairway. That's awesome. I do want to look at your right foot. Your right foot should be perpendicular to your target line. Okay, so if your feet are running in this direction, your right foot should be at 90 degrees to that. So your back foot. Your back foot's flared open too much. So let's close that up. From here, let's do a little split screen comparison between you and Chella Choi. Got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. We can see with Chella as she initiates her takeaway. Basically what we want to do is we want to create good shoulder rotation, draw the arms and hands back as well as the club, and we want the club coming back on plane directly along the red line. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, we want to incorporate some good wrist hinge into play, which means we want the club head to transition from being below and in front of our hands to getting that club head above and behind our hands. So we can see here she's creating wrist hinge and the club head's doing just that. Very important transitional move in the takeaway. From here we're now going to work the golf club from red up towards the blue-yellow V zone, and when we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, we want to have the left arm and the golf club pretty much on the yellow line. We also want to have full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable right leg. Let's watch you initiate your takeaway here. Do a good job drawing your hands back and turning your shoulders. Obviously you have a tendency of moving the golf club underneath and inside the swing plane. Just means the club shaft and the club head move to the left of the red line. That's okay as long as we incorporate some wrist hinge and we get that club head traveling above and behind the hands. So let's see some wrist hinge here. Not bad. A little bit more. Good. A little bit more. Good. And one more time. Perfect. So we're in pretty good position right here. As we continue to work this golf club to the top, what I need you to do is I need you to continue working your arms into more of a shallow position. So I need your arms continue to work up, back, but over in this direction. By the time you get to your top of your backswing, I'd like to see your hands a little bit more in line with your right shoulder. What we're going to see is at this point in time, you continue to pick your arms up, and your hands are going to get up over your head, and your left arm is going to start covering your face. So here we go. See how we're picking the arms up, and now we're out of position. Okay, so when we get to the top of the backswing, we have to set the arms in a shallower position. Your left arm has to be down towards the yellow line as we see with Chella Choi. Okay, your left arm can't be covering your face here. This is not going to allow you to come into the ball well. And what I mean by that is allow it to return back to plane. Allow it to come into the ball from the red line, how it originated and how it came back. So what we're going to see here with Chella Choi is she's going to take her weight now from her right side. We're going to drive it to the left. We're going to fire the knees and the hips laterally to the target. We're going to unwind the core, and we're going to fire the hands. In doing so, we have to bring the club from yellow back down onto red. So this is absolutely imperative if we want to hit good golf shots. And that's exactly what we see here with Chella Choi. The club is returned back to plane. The other thing we want to look at is the relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as the backwards check mark. This simply means that her club head coming into the ball is remaining above and behind her hands, which is going to allow her to create a lot of power in the golf swing, aside from the fact she's also going to hit the ball relatively straight because the ball or the club returned back to plane. what I want you to understand is we go back down to address. I said there was a very imperative move or transitional move during the takeaway, and that's through the hinging process. So what we're going to notice again is the club head is below and in front of her hands. We come back and she gets that club head above and behind her hands. What do we notice? Well, it's the exact same check mark position. All she does now is she completes the wrist hinge, gets to the top of her backswing, and she returns the club into this backwards check mark. This is the most important part or aspect of a golf swing that needs to be achieved if we want to maximize our distance and we want to hit the ball straight. So with you, where you're set with your arms, it's going to be very difficult to get this golf club to return back to the red line. So let's go ahead and watch your transition into the ball. So your hands drop. At least you return the club back to the blue-yellow V zone, but your hands and arms are a little too far out in front of you, and you're just not going to win the battle here. The club head is not going to return back to playing. So here's your club head here. We can see that the club has not returned back to being on plane. If we go to the next frame, we're going to watch the club fall out in front of you. So there it goes there. Next frame further out in front, and the next frame even further in front. So basically, you've created an over-the-top move. A lot of this is due to the fact that you set your hands and arms too steep at the top of the backswing to begin with. And if we just go ahead and connect the dots coming into the golf shot, we can see just how steep of an attack that ball or club moved into the ball. So again, with Chella Choi, her club returned back to plane here, and it tracks into the golf ball from the red line, or actually in her case slightly underneath the red line, where yours is way over top. So they're very, very, very different approaches to the golf ball. Because she's coming into the ball from the red line, from on plane, she's going to have the ability to hit the ball straight based on her alignment, assuming that the club face squares up via having a good grip. Seeing that the downswing planes are vastly different here, we can now take a look at the path of the club. And what we can see is that Chella's club is inside the ball, it expands out to make contact, and moves through in a nice natural subtle arc. Your club is stuck outside the ball. It's dropping down and across to make contact and continues to move inside. So if we happen to square the club face up to this swing path, obviously what would happen is we would hit the ball solid, but the ball is going to head in that direction to the left. If we happen to over-release the club to the same path, not only do we pull the ball, but now we're going to get some form of a pull, draw, or pull hook. If the club face stays open to the path, well, at least we can block the ball a little right of that. The ball has a little bit of left to right spin from the face being open, and we can hit some form of a fade that will find the intended target. If we happen to leave the club face too open, incredibly, we'll start the ball even further right, even though we're swinging way left. At that point in time, we need to realize the club face was massively open. We're imparting way too much left to right spin on the ball, and we're going to hit a block slice. So the end result of your golf shot is dictated based on the timing of the club face. Because the club is attacking the ball from the outside, striking the ball, and moving to the inside, if we square the face up, it follows red. Over-release the club follows the smaller red arrows. Leave it wide open follows blue, and if we time it properly, we'll follow yellow. I also just want to take a look through impact here at your right heel. It's somewhat off the ground, as we can see with Chella. I just want to make sure that your right heel keeps coming off the ground as you move through. So let's see how you do. So good job. The heel's coming further off the ground, almost getting up on that toe. So you got to complete that footwork a little bit more where we get fully up on the toe of the right foot and allow us to see the spikes in your shoe here. That'll square your hips up better, and you'll be able to fully rotate through the golf shot just a little bit better. So just a little bit more footwork there would be ideal from you. Okay? Overall, you got some really nice athletic characteristics in your golf swing. Your hands work well. They come back. They fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You got decent enough finish with your upper body because you're creating a little bit of footwork. You do need to fine-tune that. But overall, the most important thing for you is as you initiate this takeaway and you start coming back well inside and around, continue right here to continue to go shallow. If we can set your arms more shallow right here, you will come into the ball way, way better. Now, whether you improve your downswing and get it on plane by 5% or 95% would yet to be seen once you get in that shallow position, but I'll tell you what, it will improve. and then that point in time, you can go ahead and start focusing on concentrating on your downswing to get this thing right on plane. Because again, like I said, it is the most important aspect of a golf swing. In your particular swing here, while we get you to the top, we come over the top, attack the ball from out to in. Let's just see where your club face was through that pass. So out to in, club face remained pretty square. So that ball's heading out in a pretty good direction here, but very likely has a little bit of left to right spin because the face was open, and the ball will probably fade, will probably move a little bit from left to right on you. But good timing there. You should probably be able to pretty much find the intended target. Might leak a little bit to the right, but the club face didn't over-release too much or under-release, causing the ball to go too far left or too far right based on the path and the club face position. Anyways, some nice athletic ability here again, as I said. If at any point in time you ever want to work on any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to touch base. I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a fabulous day, and I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.